We're going to hit the ding in about a, there we go. Good morning, third grade people. It is Tuesday, November the 10th, and we're getting ready to do some math. We are here in our Google Meet for a couple more minutes, so your cameras and microphones are off so we can share this video as a review or with the friends that could not join us. Today's math is going to be more about multiplication, and it's a review about using patterns to solve questions. It's called multiples of 10. We looked at this before you went on NTI, and we're going to do a quick check-in today. Our job is to follow the patterns to multiply by multiples of 10. Multiples are groups of tens. So take a look at this video, and we will be all right. If you can't see or hear the video, put a note in the chat box, and we will take care of you. But use the chat box for learning, please.
Multiplying by multiples of 10. If you are asked to multiply 4 by 2, you will find the result quickly because you can use repeated addition or use the multiplication table. But what if instead you needed to find the result of 4 multiplied by 20? You can add 20 4 times, which might take time. Our multiplication table goes only up to 10. So we can't find the result simply by looking up the table. What should we do? Any number that ends with a 0 is called a multiple of 10.
10,
so
20, 30, 40.
Is a multiple of 10. It ends with a 0, and we can think of it as 2 tens or 2 times 10. We can think of our problem as multiplying 4 by 2 tens. How many tens will we have? It will be 8 tens. 8 tens can be written as 80, which is the same as multiplying 4 by 2 and then putting a 0 after finding the product. We can do this.
All right, I don't know if that was me or not. Let me see.
So if we need to multiply a number, say 5, by a multiple of 10, say 30, we just multiply the number by how many tens we have.
I'm pausing the video. I want you to use the chat box, and I want to see if you can predict the answer. If I had 4 times 20, I could multiply by the multiples of 10 and do the whole numbers first. 4 times 2 is 8, and then add the 0 at the end for that multiple of 10. If my question is 5 times 30, what do you think the answer is going to be? Put that in the chat box.
You see all this packet?
If you had to follow the pattern and you had to predict what's 5 times 30, I've got 1 answer in the chat box, 2, 3 answers, some friends who agree. The chat box is filling up.
150.
Correct. The chat box is filling up with 150 as the answer. Let's head to the video and see if you are correct. Keep putting your answers in.
30 is equal to 3 tens. So 5 times 3 equals 15. Then we put a 0 after finding the result. Our final answer equals 150.
All right. Good job, friends, in that chat box. You followed the pattern. You knew that 5 times 3 was 15, and we're adding multiples of 10, so you could add the 0 from the 30 to your product to get 150. Awesome job. And that's what you're going to do in today's activity. It just went live in Google Classroom. This was quick because it's a quick review. We're going to follow the pattern. When you get to Google Classroom, there's another video from our friends at Khan Academy that you enjoyed yesterday, some reminders of multiplying by groups of 10, and then you have some questions to answer, and your job is to click the correct answer. As you go on, you're going to have some crazy equations like this guy, 6 times 20,000. And I know you're looking at me like, what? I can't do that. If I follow the pattern, do you think you can do that?
No.
Yes, you can. Don't say no. Don't unmic to say no. Silly, silly people. Well, let's see. 6 times 20,000. Someone needs to turn their microphone off. Well, let's find out then, shall we? In the chat box, make a prediction. We're going to follow the pattern. 6 times 20,000. I'm going to change my layout so we can actually see what we're doing here.
Emily says she can't hear you. She logged out.
I guess, yeah, because I think we're in good shape.
She's the only one.
Okay, yeah, she's the only one. I know sometimes it gets stuck when you're switching tabs, but
Yeah.
I think we're good today. All right, lovelies. Let's see. One of your questions is going to be the absolutely ridiculous 6 times 20,000. And I want to give you this answer. The same way you did 5 times 30. What can I do first? Use the chat box for learning. What can I do I'm not adding anything. I'm going to be multiplying. My chat box says, oh, I should add those numbers.
Okay.
I'm going to multiply. Which numbers? Where should I start? The same way that I did the 5 and the 3, I'm going to do the counting numbers first. So I'm going to look at my 6 and my 2. So 6 times 2 is how much? Yep, 6 times 2 is 12. And I'm going to follow the pattern by using my multiples. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros in my equation. So I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros to my product, to my answer. Throw in my comma, and you just multiplied 6 times 20,000 to get your answer of 120,000. Were you able to follow that? Were you able to figure that out using the pattern? Yes. So could you answer that question? Yep. Let's see. Is 120,000 one of our answers? Absolutely. There's no way it's 12 and there's no way that's 8. So it has the answer that we can choose. You have, I think there's 10 of these.
Yes.
Do the best you can. If you need help, let me know. If you have scrap paper or a whiteboard or a napkin, something near you where you can work these out, use your tools wisely. Use your adults if you need some help. Let me know if you need some help, and we will check in with you after that. Follow the pattern. That's the biggie today. You're going to follow the pattern. All right, it is 10:17. At the end of this, I'm going to let you go. Your mics are still off so we can finish our taping. Remember, after this, this is the reading one. You don't want the reading one. Just kidding. After this, I'm going to let you go in a minute. You're going to go to Google Classroom and do your activity. You're going to go on to Reflex and get your green light. Remember, the inside and the outside need to be green to get your green light. And with your time left over, you can do what you need to do to be successful with where you are. It may be playing a math game from your packet. It might be staying on the computer and going to Compass. It might be using your fact triangles to practice your facts. Oh my goodness, I'm saying so many words at the same time. At 11 o'clock is when your math time is finished, and then you're on for your afternoon. You have a break built in for lunch and lifetime because that's when we would do it together in the classroom. From 12:30 to 1:30, you have special area. Mr. Dunaway has put PE activities in the Google Classroom. And then at 1:30, you'll come back and see me. So,
Some of them are seeing me.
and then some of you are going to go to Miss Ignorino. Yep. I'm trying to steal the children, but some of you go and do an extra special group, Miss Ignorino. So we will see you. One of us will see some of you at 1:30. I'm going to stop recording, and then we can take care of what we need to. I'll see you at 1:30.